First day of the opening test match between the West Indies and India. First for these two teams in the new West Indies Championship. Stumps, there was rain that forced the players off prematurely, and the Indians 203 for 6 after being sent into bat by the West Indies. West Indies captain Jason Holder winning the toss. 203 for 6, the India first innings score at Stumps. KL Rahul 44, Ajinkya Rahane got 81. Impressive bowling by Shamar Brooks, who picked up 3 for 34 of 17 overs. Shannon Gabriel picked up 2 for 49, and that a fighting day's play delivered by both teams. There was a lot of grit and determination from the Indian batsmen, and conversely, a West Indies bowling attack that looked diligent and looked very, very prepared to take the fight to the Indian batsmen. I was very impressed by the fact that they were able to get rid of the openers. And what yesterday on the show I said, Ajinkya Rahane, remember, his form has been on the wane. So tomorrow when West Indies come back out, they definitely need to break that partnership with Rahane and KL Rahul. And you know what? The game might look in their favour.
Rahane lost his wicket this evening. I think Gabriel took his wicket, so he's out for 8-1. Yeah. Yes, you're correct. He was under tremendous pressure. Even when they played in England last year, I thought at one stage he would have been dropped. And in the back end of that series, he scored some runs.
He got a lot of life today too.
He did.
Drop catches.
Okay. I was traveling, so I didn't get to see. But it's good to see him getting some runs. Yeah. And of course, if this England batting lineup, if they struggle to 203 for 6 in almost 69 overs, 68 overs and 4 balls, then it tells you that the pitch seems to be a difficult pitch, and therefore West Indies will struggle, usually, because it tends to happen like that. But nevertheless, a fighting total, a fighting performance by the West Indies to pick up 6 wickets on the first day, albeit intermittently there was, you had some rain, and it was raining heavily in the morning. I was surprised, basically, that it actually started when it did, because there was a lot of rain around, the clouds keep moving around. But coming back to this whole situation in terms of the selection of the team, there's a lot of acrimony.
I know at this stadium there was a lot of chaos in the sense that fans were speaking out on how they felt about Rahkeem not being included.
They said that Brooks will be making his debut in Barbados. In Antigua. And Cornwall, after struggling for so long to get into the team, finally broke through the regional 4-day cricketer of the year, picking up 54 wickets in the last regional 4-day championship. So that means he's in good form.
Yes.
And for him not to make his debut there, it is felt that it would have been a bumper crowd had he been selected as well. And I'm certain that maybe Cricket West Indies was hoping that he would have gotten in.
Well, someone who can tell us a lot more about what happened today in Antigua, commentator Jack Mathew, on duty at the Sir Vivian Richards ground, joining us live now on the telephone. Jack, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much, Lance, and good afternoon to all our viewers.
All right, we're going to go quickly to the selection of the team and the controversy about Rahkeem Cornwall's omission from the 11. But quickly, your assessment of how the West Indies played today and how they played in the field and with the ball, and how India's batsmen resisted them.
Well, first off, they had a pitch which had a bit of moisture in it, and that was exploited early. With the early dismissal of Agarwal and Pujara. Pujara, a very good wicket for the West Indies to take, because we know of his ability to bat for a very, very long time. And he was fresh from 100 in the warm-up match just preceding the test match. So the West Indies were absolutely jubilant about his dismissal, and were even more excited about the removal of Virat Kohli for just 9. So the West Indies, having India on the back foot at 25 for 3, they really made a dream start to this test match. But as you all have been saying, Ajinkya Rahane and Rahul, they stuck with it for a long time. At one point, the scoring was at a crawl, but they were prepared to fight against the West Indies, and they had that partnership. And then Rahane was in association with Vihari later on, and they really carried the fight to the West Indian bowlers. Shamar Brooks was excellent today. He had that very good line just all about off stump, testing the batsmen consistently. And Shannon Gabriel was Shannon Gabriel. Can be a bit inconsistent, but then he had 1 or 2 very, very good overs where he provided a testing time for the batsmen as well. We know that Jason Holder is quite economical not as fast as the other two, and he bowled within himself. But clearly, Miguel Cummins was not up to Test standard. It was clearly a situation that he did not merit his place in the side. He came into the team because of the late withdrawal of Keema Paul, and for some reason he found himself in the West Indies 11, very much against the expectations of, I would say, even everyone, maybe even himself, to be playing for the West Indies in this Test match. And he did not look the part. He was short of pace. He was short of what was required at the Test level. And so that was a major shortcoming, I thought, with respect to the bowling.
Yeah, with regard to the inclusion of Miguel Cummins, I suspect that the selectors would suggest, and maybe the captain, that they wanted to go with a four-prong pace attack, so they may want to justify his inclusion based on that. But was he the only surprise in the 11?
No, but just talk about this perception of fast bowling and a pace quartet. There is a misconception about the West Indies operating with a four-pronged pace attack. Now, in the days of Marshall, Garner, Walsh, etc., Andy Roberts, Michael Holding, we had fast bowlers of genuine pace who could really dismantle any batting side. But now we have bowlers, some of them are just medium pacers or just above that. Miguel Cummins is hardly can be considered a real fast medium bowler who can disconcert any batsman. So when you have four bowlers who are bowling what we call fast medium stuff, with the exception of Shannon Gabriel and Kemar Roach, I'm referring to Holder and Miguel Cummins, you cannot say that the West Indies have a four-pronged pace attack that can really scare the daylight out of India. So I think that's first a misconception. So we just don't play fast bowlers and say we have four-pronged fast bowling attack to destroy the opposition. And Holder said that before the Test match, and there was that feeling that Rahkeem Cornwall would have been left out because that was the plan.
Yeah.
To play four fast bowlers.
Yeah, but of course there was some development in the last 24 hours, Jack, because Shane Durridge turns up with an ankle injury, so he loses his spot in the 11, and that spot is taken by Shamar Brooks, when there could be a solid argument put forward for Rahkeem Cornwall to get in for Durridge instead of Shamar Brooks. I think that is a bone of serious contention at the moment with many of our cricket fans.
That's the point I'm getting to. Now, there was a situation where Shane Durridge would have been out. Shea Hope would have played anyhow. He took over the wicket-keeping duty, so there was that additional spot. Now, I would have gone for Rahkeem Cornwall whether Shane Durridge would have played or not. So Cornwall would have been in my 11. But another opportunity was created with the injury to Shane Durridge. But the West Indies selectors scoffed at that and decided to go for Miguel Cummins, who was not even in the original 13-man squad. And we're playing essentially 8 batsmen. Now, this may come back to haunt the West Indies, because, yes, India on the ropes at this time. They don't have a big total on the board. 6 wickets are down. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But we may have a situation where, because you don't have that genuine spinner in Rahkeem Cornwall, who can bowl for long spells and economically as well and get you wickets, we may have, if India were to bat and get close to 300, or even beyond 300, that the West Indies could find themselves on the back foot. And because we're talking about a Test match, India are going to have to bat a second time. So I think a great opportunity was missed to include Cornwall to really set the tone for this Test match, because we would have had a lot more people in attendance today and during the course of the days to come. So I begin to wonder now, what is the plan for Rahkeem Cornwall? What are the selectors saying to him? And what are the selectors saying to young performers in the Caribbean who go and perform day after day, match after match, pick up 50-odd wickets in the course of a tournament and cannot get into your side, when you have players who have been tried and tested, they've failed, and they come back in the automatic selection? Well, it's puzzling, and the West Indies administration, the West Indies selection panel, they need to look closely at this, because a lot of youngsters in the Caribbean can easily become disillusioned by this selection fallacy. That's what I call it.
Well, as we are on the topic of Rahkeem Cornwall, we got some reports that at the stadium, many people were showing their dissent with the fact that Rahkeem was not picked. Is that true?
Yes, obviously, people would show their dissent because it was a glaring omission that went against the expectations of so many people. I had him penciled in before the start of the match to play, and everything went in favor of Rahkeem Cornwall playing. There was this last-minute injury to Shane Dorridge, so another opportunity was created for Cornwall to play in this side. So any dissent whatsoever, absolutely justifiable.
Well, I know we heaped a lot of praises on Kemar Roach for getting wicket, Shannon Gabriel as well. Talk to us about Shai Hope behind the stumps. He was able to get 5 catches.
Yeah, Shai Hope, we know, is a very, very good wicket keeper. And he had, what, four catches, I think, behind the stumps today. And so he kept well. He's the one-day international keeper, T20 keeper as well. So it was nothing strange for Shai Hope. And he really delivered behind the stumps. He obviously has that ability to perform at this level in a test match as a wicketkeeper, and he showed that behind the stumps today. Real excellent performance by Shai Hope. Wonderful stuff.
Okay, Jack, the fact that they said when one door closed, many open, and therefore, look at Dorridge, for example. The fact that he got injured and had to pull out of the squad, I think that I agree in that would have affected the whole composition of the West Indies team, because what's happening now is that because Shai Hope had to keep the wicket, he's now batting at 5, and all of a sudden now, Hetmeyer is down to bat at 7, and he's not an all-rounder in the team. And you look at the Indian setup, for example, they have 4 bowlers in there, 3 fast bowlers and their spinner, Jadeja. When you look at the West Indies, you could say maybe West Indies has 3.5 bowlers because the 3 fast bowlers with Cummins, and of course there's no specialist spinner in the team. What are your expectations going deep in this test match in terms of if these Indian guys stand up and start, put a partnership together with our shortage in our bowling department, will we be toiling?
Yes, I referred to that point earlier on, that the West Indies could really be struggling. Because although 6 wickets are down, Rishabh Pant, we know of his ability, and Jadeja is still there, and he can be a very dangerous customer as well. So India could really push on and get 300 runs, and we know that the West Indies batting is not necessarily dependable. So although it has depth in terms of numbers, but then you have to go and deliver on the day. And so with even Hetmeyer batting at number 7, it doesn't necessarily mean that the West Indies are going to produce, because we have seen that tendency of the batsmen just getting themselves out. And so the test match could really be turned as the days go by. And so I'm not really saying that the West Indies have put themselves in a position where they can really and truly force a win in this test match. I think it's early days yet, and we'll just have to wait and see how they reply to this, whatever first innings total India eventually were to get on this pitch.
Jack, great talking to you here on the SportsMax Zone. We'll keep keeping a very close eye on this test match. Day 2 is expected to be very important. Thanks for talking to us on the Zone today.
And thank you as well. All the best.